Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? This is Thursday, August the 10th. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, got some good news in finally. Hydrocodones finally made it to Florida. Yesterday afternoon, the pharmacy called me, said my prescription was filled and I could come pick it up. Oh my God, was I so happy. Because I was down to my last three half tablets that I had been squirreling away for the past week. Had some half tabs that instead of taking a full tablet a couple times a day, I was taking a half tablet once a day. Just when I knew I had something coming up where I had to get up and move around and such. So, oh, I come home and took that full tablet. And I was like, yes, let this thing hit my body. Now, it's going to take me about a week. It's going to take, well, no, maybe not a week. It's going to take a few days for it to, my body to get back up to where it was before. But whew. Anyway, so at least for the next month, I'm good to go. All right. So let's start off. Today's not going to be a pretty stream. There's a lot of ugliness in today's stream. If you saw my thumbnail, yeah. I want to start off with this teacher out of Texas. She's a elementary school teacher. Self-proclaimed black supremacist. Obviously a racist. And she got onto TikTok and made a video. And she made one too many videos. She was part of Black TikTok. She made one too many videos and got herself. She, depending on the article you read, she either resigned or she was fired. I'm going to say the truth is both. She was given the opportunity to resign. You've got 30 seconds to resign or you're going to be fired type situation. That's what I believe is what the truth is on this. All right. Now, I happened to run across her videos the other day just before everything hit the fan. And so when I read the news last night that that this had occurred, I was, to be honest, I'm actually surprised. I was actually shocked to see that this happened because honestly, in my opinion, the nothing is done about black racist. Nothing is done about Mexican racist. Nothing is done. If you are not white, you can be as racist as you want, and rarely anything happens because so many people. have bought into this. Black people can't be racist, just like women can't be sexist because we don't have the power. I keep referring back to the I want to say it's Machiavellian statement. Uh, if you want to know who controls you, see who it is you may not criticize. Oh, I'm sorry. It's attributed to a gentleman by the name of Tactus. All right. Now, I have no idea who in the heck Tactus is. Um, uh, okay, he's a Roman senator. Okay. And we all pretty well know that a white male, there are damn few people a white male can criticize without being called a racist, a sexist, a homophobe, a transphobe, or whatever. So, anyway, let's read this article. A Mesquite elementary school teacher has resigned following an investigation by the school district into racially charged statements she made on social media. Mesquite ISD began investigating the Thompson elementary school teacher Monday afternoon after someone tagged the campus in a post, which includes some of her comments. By Tuesday morning, the teacher had resigned. In a statement, the district said the teacher's comments were alarming and racist. The teacher, who is black, has since deleted her accounts on social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, but the screenshots of her posts are still circulating wide. Now, here is the tweet by Mesquite. At approximately 4 p.m. yesterday, Mesquite ISD became aware of a series of alarming racist statements posted to the account of a teacher at Thompson Elementary. Upon learning of this situation, our personnel staff began an immediate investigation. As of this morning, the employee is no longer part of the Mesquite ISD organization and is not eligible for rehire. Due to privacy restrictions, Mesquite ISD cannot comment on the details of the personal matters. Nevertheless, the highly offensive statements posted to her X account do not reflect the values and standards of Mesquite ISD, and the district condemns them in the strongest terms. In her post, the teacher complained about her sister dating a white man and said she had asked her boyfriend to kill him. And others used derogatory terms for white people. I enjoy being racist, she wrote in one post. I'm never changing. The teacher who is not named, why not? Why have not they named and shamed her? If this had been a white male, not only would they have named and shamed, his picture would have been all over this article. Worked for Mesquite ISD for 4 years, including the past 3 years at Thompson Elementary. She taught third grade. She also taught for a year at Seaborn Elementary, Mesquite. Just east of Dallas, Mesquite is among the most diverse suburbs in the region. Roughly 60% of the district's 38,000 students are Hispanic, 25% are black, and 10% are white. And you want to know why she felt so comfortable being racist? My concern is, and one of my concerns is her students, her white students. How did she treat them, I wonder? How were their grades? I'm glad she wasn't a high school teacher. I mean, elementary school is bad enough, but high school, you have a racist high school teacher, and it can absolutely destroy that person's life. And okay, let me rephrase it. It can do a lot of damage to that person's life. Bad grades, preventing them from getting into college, et cetera, et cetera. So let's take a look at what this teacher did. Let's see if this works. I'm trying something new here, and I want to see if this works. And I don't. Hey, it did. Thank you, Streamlabs, for allowing us to switch from one screen, one tab to another without having to get out of sharing mode. This is wonderful. All right. Now, this here account belongs to, supposedly belongs to a Claire Kyle at the Claire Kyle G. Hey, morning, Sean. Woke up to my sister being the biggest disappointment I've ever seen. Look at the color of the arm wrapped around my sister. My poor sis laid up with a pasty in my house. So let's listen to what this woman has to say. All right. I'm inconsolable. How many white classmates does she have? My sis is letting all of Europe take turns on her. The disappointment I feel right now. Our parents raised us better than this. This girl spent all of her dowry and now laid up with a white. Yes, and my classmate Matt is here, just FYI. That's the guy in the black truck? Yep. He's white? All of them are. Oh, where's he? Accidentally shut the audio off. Okay, here we go. So let's listen to her.
Y'all already know why I'm having a bad day. My sister's a cave dweller smasher.
My sister is a cave dweller smasher. Oh, good point, Sean. My sister's a cave dweller smasher. Racist comment number one.
In my house? On this land? I just want to let y'all know that I'm about to do everything in my power to fuck this relationship up. And it's going to be so fun and so satisfying to watch.
Had to call my man for backup. I can't believe she has this cave dweller in my freaking house. No, she didn't. Oh my God. She knows I'm racist. She admits it right here. She knows I'm racist. LOL, that man looks straight up Trump supporter. Come and kill him for me, Dre. I promise I'll help you hide the body. Bring all four of your guns. Mm, yeah, that's I'm baffled at seeing a white man in my house. I can't believe it. This is supposed to be Negro only. I'm so mad right now, but I also don't want to cause a scene, embarrass her. I don't know what to do right now. These are just some of the other things that she has said in the past. Let me see if I can make this even bigger so we can read them. All right. Let's see what it says here. I'm 29 and just got fined. Queen pick me and logical for free. Pro black man, black supremacist. Why shouldn't I hate white people? Why should I show y'all any love at all? Name a big historic moment where white people did anything for black people out of the kindness of y'all's hearts. How about trying the Civil War there, Claire? Try the Civil War. That's a pretty big historical moment. The Emancipation Proclamation. How about that? Hmm? How about the Voting Rights Act? How about that? How about the 14th Amendment? How about that? And you're supposed to be a school teacher? You're supposed to be college educated? I would not give a damn if a white person had what my bio says because we already know y'all are evil people. So it's right on brand. And there's definitely uh, white pages on here with my bio and worse. Then over here, a white man, a good dude, you smoking crack. And then today's the first day of school. Can't wait to see my new students. You're again, Sean. I hope they've gone back and they've double checked all of her records for how she treated her white students. Oh, school for students start on August 7th, but teachers go back July 31st. Dre, please tell me you see getting your ass ate as gay. Holy shit. She's also homophobic. She's also homophobic. Wow. So we've seen. All right, now we saw the Mesa. Let, okay, the Dallas Morning News. All right, the Dallas Morning News. Their headline to this. All right. Mesquite Elementary School teacher resigns over alarming racist social media post. Okay. There was the headline to this. Let's just look at how some of the other media, when I Googled this or used Bing rather, to see how to try to find an article on this. Okay. Well, that's just it, Sean. Okay. Um, I'm not, some articles say she was fired, other articles say she resigned. I'm thinking the truth, it was a matter of she was given the option of resigning within the next 30 seconds or be fired 45 seconds later. And she took the resignation mode. But like Fox News, Texas district fires first grade teacher who joked about killing sister's white boyfriend, hide the body. Okay, that's Fox News saying that. Fort Worth Star Telegram, North Texas teacher fired for racist offensive social media post. MSN, North Texas elementary school teacher fired over highly offensive statements. CBS, Mesquite elementary teacher fired after reportedly sharing, not making, sharing racist statements online. The New York Post, a Texas elementary school teacher is out of a job after she posted quote unquote racist statements. Hey, Duck Dog. Well, now the school district has already said that she is ineligible for rehire. There, Sean. Okay. Uh, Here's another one. This is CBS. Mesquite elementary teacher fired after reportedly sharing a racist post. Reportedly posting alarming, quote unquote, alarming racist statements. They really go out of their way to soft pedal what she said as much as possible. They really did. And schools, why aren't schools looking at these teachers' bios that they have posted in social media? Because this teacher social media straight right said black supremacist. Could you imagine a white teacher having in their bio white supremacist and still being allowed to teach? There's no way that would happen. There's just no way. Let's see what we got here. Black teacher fired over quote unquote racist comments about white people. Texas teacher fired after a series of quote unquote racist comments over sister's new white boyfriend. Texas teacher fired over alleged online racist statements. That's Spectrum News. I've never heard of that one. Yeah, so anyway, Now we'll probably see a counter lawsuit now. She's probably going to file a lawsuit about the whole thing. Improper firing, wasn't proper steps weren't taken to allow her to defend herself, yada, 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 yada. Hey, good morning, Dar.
Ahoy. So what are we yelling about today?
Well, starting off with that teacher that made the racist comments that was fired out of Texas.
Yeah. Well, she shouldn't have been making them comments, apparently.
And talking about killing her sister's white boyfriend and hiding the body.
That's never good.
And in her bio on Twitter, saying that she was a black supremacist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's right there in her bio.
Well, that's never good.
That's not good at all. So, hey, before I go to the next story on the thing, while I got you here, those two gentlemen out there at the California shipyard.
Okay.
That just got arrested the last week for selling secrets to the Chinese.
Oh, them two sailors?
Yeah.
Of Chinese descent?
Yeah.
That were not properly vetted before they joined the Navy? And, well, it doesn't matter if they were vetted or not.
That doesn't matter. Because they're both Americans, natural-born American citizens.
Right. Well, the thing, too, you have to understand about the Navy, right, is there's a lot of non-citizens in the United States Navy.
Oh, same with the Air Force.
Yeah, and with the Army, too. So there are a lot of non-citizens, and one of their ways that they can become citizens is to serve in the military.
Right.
So...
Which, on the whole, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, I don't either. Just, you got to be careful what jobs and stuff you put them into.
Now, what I do believe, though, is they should, by the end of their 4-year term, you can't re-enlist unless you've processed into becoming an American citizen. You get your 4 years to do what needs to be done to become an American citizen, and then if you haven't, you can't re-enlist.
That's fine.
I definitely don't want anybody to go 20 years as a non-citizen and getting VA benefits and everything else if they've never, if they couldn't take the time and effort into becoming a U.S. citizen.
Right.
So,
I don't know if that has to do with stopping spying or anything. But...
Well, no. That was just, something that is one of those side tracks that I'm so famous for.
All right.
But honestly, I didn't see this get much of a stink on the news. Did you?
Not as much as I thought. I mean, I saw it in a couple of chyrons, but that's about it. Nobody's really talking about it. Because, before when we've had spying, we've had American citizens spying before and all that. But yeah, it's being downplayed in the media because it could make the Biden administration look bad. I don't know why, but it could, I guess. So that's probably part of the reason why it's being downplayed so much.
I'm also thinking it's because it was Chinese and not Russian.
Yeah, that's a good possibility too. Actually, that's probably a better conclusion.
Okay, Death Dog, I am not getting, if that's a joke, I'm not getting, it's flown right over my head.
Why? What'd he say?
He says, I know a couple of 10-year Filipino sailors that did their bid and married a BMW. And it's just, I mean, I'm sorry, but this it's whooshing right over my noggin.
I'm not sure what the BMW is. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm.
but I do know what he say about the 10-year Filipinos.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had Filipinos in the Air Force. We actually one guy that got.
BMW. Well, the W's woman, and the B is probably big. The M could be married. But so what happens a lot with the Filipinos is they do their 10 years, because usually that's how long it takes to get your citizenship. If you're in the military, it's a 10-year process. So they'll do their 10 years, get out, and they'll marry some woman, get their citizenship and stay in the United States.
Big Maine woman.
Yeah. Yeah, big Maine woman, yeah.
Okay.
Or if they're in San Diego, the big sand dog woman. Big Cali gal. Because they figure if they marry big women, other guys won't want to fool around with them. That happens.
There's a train track there. I'm going to ignore here.
No,
I'm ignoring this side rail.
No, that's fine. But no, it does happen. We get a lot of people that come into the Navy that they, from overseas. Like I worked with a couple Canadians that were in the Navy, and the reason that when they turned 18, they wanted to join the Navy, right? They wanted to see the world and all that. But the waiting list to get in the Canadian Navy was like 4 years long. So, but they could get immediately into the American Navy. And what they would do is keep themselves on the Canadian Navy waiting list, go in the American Navy until their name came up on the waiting list. Then they would not re-enlist, and they go to the Canadian Navy because they were Canadians. So that happened a lot too.
Well, that filled the lower enlisted echelons pretty quickly then, and opened up promotions for upper echelons.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, not always.
Well, if the guys got out, that was less people testing for pay grade.
But there'd be another Canadian right behind him taking their spot. So yeah.
Yeah, but he'd be starting over lower on the pay rate. But.
Yeah, but see, that's not always enough people. That's only a few people. It's not enough to make a difference. If it was, that'd have been great. Because
it sort of depends on your career field. Like my career field when I was in the Air Force was small enough that we would only average 10 to 13 promotions a year to top 3.
Mine was going from E4 to E5. There were more E4s going for E5 than there were E5 and 6s in the Navy combined. So you were lucky to see one person in the entire United States Navy get promoted every year.
In your career field. Wow.
Yep. I mean, it was extremely tight. So, yeah, one person going back.
The Navy doesn't prorate out their promotions by career field?
They do it by how many billets they need on the ship.
Okay.
on the different ships.
All right.
So if you have 1,000 people of this rate and you have 800 slots on the ship, and then each ship competes against, so each person on a ship competes against everybody in the entire United States Navy for promotion.
Right.
So it's different.
Okay. In the
It's
Air
a little
Force,
different way of doing it.
in the Air Force, we promote against, or we test against others in our own career fields.
Yeah, so do we.
So
But we compete against everybody in the entire United States Navy.
in your rate.
Yes, in my
Yeah.
rate.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The Air Force is the same way. Then.
Yeah, it's the same.
So, okay.
And it's based on your evals plus your test scores.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all pretty much the same. It's just that some rates are more crowded than others.
Yep.
And also in the Navy, you have rates like we have rates where no foreign nationals can be in that rate. We have rates where you have to have a certain level of security clearance to be in that rate. And so a lot of times foreign nationals and people that are, with issues and that cannot be in certain rates. So what they do is they throw them into other rates that don't have those restrictions. And sometimes those rate fields get crowded. So that's kind of how that works. I think it sucks, but it is what it is. So anyway, let's get back to the spying.
Okay. Well, I just, with you being Navy, I figured you'd be a little bit more better informed on what was going on with it than what they'd released out that I read in the news. Or, have a little bit better idea of what was going on.
Not necessarily.
So, okay, I'm going to go with these guys both committed acts of treason, being active duty military, and there's only one suitable punishment for it.
Yeah, but that's never going to happen because even the bigger spy things that have happened in the Navy's past, they usually get prison time. And yeah, because they don't see it as an active, they don't always go for the treason thing. And like with most of these incidents, if you actually sit down and look at the incident, a lot of times it's some sweet young thing is talk them
Honeypots.
Yeah, talk them into something, because that's usually that 99% of the time that's what it is. Other times you'll have some guy that gets himself in a little financial trouble, and they say, hey, we can help you out with that financial issue, and so what they do is they give them information not knowing how important this information is.
Yep. I'm still, I'm a little still a bit more hard ass on this. Any active duty military does something like that, or anybody within the Department of Defense caught doing stuff like this, in my opinion, that's just straight treason, and there's only one punishment for treason.
Right. No, I get that, and
that's the death sentence.
Yeah, I get that, and it's but that's not how it's ever going to happen. So
maybe if it would happen that way, there'd be a hell of a lot less of it.
Yeah, you would think.
For treason, I think it should be video made available online of the death sentence being carried out, and either firing squad or hanging, one or the other.
Yeah, well, that would be nice, but it's not going to happen. I mean, if that was going to happen, there's much bigger cases. And the thing of it is, there's been much bigger cases of spying that where the actual treason thing fit.
Yeah,
But that's
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So, no, I know you're not. I'm just saying that that's how it worked out. So, in my humble opinion, not much is going to happen to these two. They'll go the break for a while, a year or two probably, maybe more. But yeah, I don't think much else will happen, because I have no idea what kind of information they gave up or anything else. A lot of times guys will, and I'm not condoning this behavior at all, but a lot of times guys will give what they feel is pretty innocuous information that, they're pretty sure everybody knows anyway, thinking, yeah, I'll make a few bucks, no harm, no foul. And they get in trouble for it because, like, I had this one kid, who was extremely proud of the fact that he was working on a nuclear submarine. Extremely proud of that fact. And so he took a picture of him standing in his workspace.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that case.
And sent it home, and he got in trouble. He went to jail for that.
But that's different from selling for cash money secret stuff that to be secret.
It is.
And,
it's way
and
different.
then except I mean, stupidity of sending a picture of your duty section, which may or may not be a classified section, home to show off to mom and dad, is one thing, but taking what is classified information and selling it for, and these guys, from what I read, they did it pretty damn cheaply, not even for, for what, $13,000-$15,000.
Right.
That's a whole different thing. I can't think of the legal term now, having to do with your state of mind.
Yeah.
Res mentis or something like that. But
yep.
I mean, that's something else totally different. I mean, but exactly, Fury. Malicious and criminal intent make all the difference.
Yeah, intent makes all the difference in the world.
And yeah, that young guy, that young guy that did the picture thing, it should have been, an Article 15 loses stripe, moved out into a different career field and then allowed to go on with his life. He shouldn't have been thrown in jail. As I remember the case, which wasn't something I delved into extremely deep. But there may be some other facts in there. There's facts in there I don't remember, but that's beside the point. So, let's see. Do you have a beard?
I do not.
You do not. So obviously, then you shave on a daily basis.
No, I don't. I have a goatee. And I shave on a weekly. I shave on a weekly basis.
You don't by chance use Harry's razors, do you?
Nope, never have.
Yeah, Harry's Razors decided that they were going to these left wing, these companies. Let's see here. Uh,
Yeah, they went woke a couple years ago.
yeah. Well,
And
they really went here recently, though.
yeah, they're gotten worse thinking that's going to help them, but in reality, all it's going to do is put them out of business.
Here is a female that had her boobs cut off and started taking lots of testosterone. And Harry's is come up with a special razor kit in honor of her bravery.
Oh, good for her.
And 100% of the profits from this set is going to go to the Trevor Project to help pay for surgeries for minors.
Yeah, good for her.
Celebrating my first pride with facial hair. So obviously she's a lesbian.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So Harry's Flamingo, that's that special razor kit. Her lesbian lover sitting there. Look at them scar tissue there where they lopped off her boobs.
Yeah, I know. That's just horrible that they do that. It makes me sad for them.
Yep.
Yeah, I really don't get it, but
yeah. Now, have you ever taken a brush to your goatee?
No.
I've got a full beard. I've never taken a brush. I mean, after I get out of the shower, I'm done combing my hair. I use the same comb I use to comb my hair, to comb out my beard, and then I'm into my day.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of guys that have big beards that comb them, just so that crumbs and stuff, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
that makes sense, but
yeah,
a brush on just that. See the amount of growth on her face there.
Yep, that ain't got much.
See, I have a little less than that after a week of not shaving.
That's about 3 days growth for me.
Now, for me, that's actually a week of not shaving. I look like I have severe 5 o'clock shadow.
Wow.
So I could I have tried to grow a beard a few times and it just doesn't work for me. I'm just not genetically disposed to having a lot of facial hair. I mean, it took me almost a year to grow a goatee. Now I can do it in about 6 weeks. So about once every 6 or 8 weeks, I'll shave my face completely smooth. And then I will let my goatee grow back. But, the only reason I have a goatee is because the wife likes it. So.
Yeah. Well, Fury, zipper tits. Yeah. I remember when Harry's Razors first came out, because it came out as a response to the rising cost of Gillette and such.
Yep.
And they said, okay, well, we can come out with a razor kit and mail it to your house every week or every month, and subscription basis for razors, and aftershave and such, and be cheaper than Gillette and the other companies.
Right, and they're German steel, blah blah blah.
Yeah, blah 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 blah. And I almost went with them, but then I was getting ready. I was either just retiring or had already retired, and was in on again, off again about growing a beard. So, oh, Gillette. Yeah. Now, I did not, when Gillette did their remake on To Be a Man commercials, how to be a woke man, how to be a feminine man.
Yeah, that was
What
bullshit.
when they did, I did not throw what I would. I'd already paid money for them. I was going to use them. I used my Gillette stuff until it was no longer good.
Well, you want to hear something funny?
What's that?
The only time I ever bought an actual razor is while I was in the military. Because the first time I actually shaved was when I went to boot camp.
I started shaving. I had to start shaving when I was 16 years old.
Nah, so the first time I actually shaved is when I went to boot camp, right?
Right.
And so, they give you when you check in, they give you disposable razors, right? And I think they were Bics, the blue Bic.
Oh, them blue Bic things.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which, pretty much they worked for me because I really didn't need them, right?
Right.
And so then when I got on the ship and that, I would buy disposable razors. And then when I started making a little bit more money, I just bought an electric razor.
I tried an electric razor and I just didn't get a good shave with them.
See, but for me, I got plenty good enough shave, so it worked for me.
I used actually up until, I don't know, up until I was in my mid 20s or so, I used the Schick injector razor.
I don't even know what that is, but okay.
Let's see here. And scroll down to where, here you go. There we go. That's what I used. You actually injected your blades into the into the handle. So they now see, my dad used those Wilkerson blades like you talked about there, Fury.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
Oh, God. Dry
granted,
shave? Ooh.
I could dry shave. I've done it many times.
I've done it too, and I hated it every time I got ingrown hairs every time I dry shaved.
It never bothered me. It just never was an issue. I used to do it all the time, man. Right before quarters, a lot of times I'd go do a quick dry shave, and people are like, "How can you do that? Doesn't that hurt?" I'm like, "Nope."
Oh.
But but the fact is today I just use like one of these cheap little electric razor things that you can put the trimmers on and all that. That's all I use. Do it once a week.
And, that's what I use. Well, when I clean up my neck before, like the wife and I are going out for dinner this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll trim up my beard and make it look pretty, and make sure my neck is nice and trimmed up.
So that's all I do. I don't use like a true razor. I use this trimmer thing. I just use it without the blade to clean up my cheeks and my neck, and that's it. That's all I use, and I do it once a week, or most of the time I don't even do it every week. I just mostly, if I'm in the shower and I remember to do it, I do it. So, but yeah, it would take me, even if I went without shaving for a year, I still wouldn't have much of a beard or anything,
Right.
and it would just look stupid. So,
Ah.
why bother? Because yeah, I used to when my son was in Boy Scouts, right? I used to me and a few other dads, we took the boys to Boy Scout camp every year, and I always led hikes and did stuff like that with them because a lot of the dads were just not in good enough shape to do any of that kind of thing. So I just went the whole time we were up there. I just went without shaving because it was just easier not to, right? And people say, you should keep your face like that because you look rugged. And that's because I had like just a little bit more than a 5 o'clock shadow.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I mean, so for me, and if you really want to have some fun, you can go to the I Hate Harry's website. They have a really funny commercial, and it's also on YouTube. I Hate Harry's commercial.
I have to check that out later on.
Yeah, it's the funniest commercial I've ever seen. So this guy came out.
I Hate Harry's, huh?
Yeah. So this guy comes out, right? He's a conservative blogger guy, and he goes, well, Harry's Razors. This is back a few years ago when he went woke, when they went really woke. And so he came up with his own razor company. Now it's an actual razor company to compete with Harry's, and he's knocking it out of the park. But see, I don't use a bladed razor. I haven't used a bladed razor in like 30 years. So yeah, probably more like 40 years, probably. I'm a Braun fan.
The Daily Beast.
Yeah.
Far right snowflakes just can't get over this woke razor.
Yeah, well, you know how the Daily Beast is, right?
Yeah.
Anybody that does agree with them is a snowflake or a racist or some sort of phobe.
Yep.
One of the ists.
Oh, we must be getting thunder out there.
Why? Your dog freaking?
My dog just decided to try to climb up on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And he only does that when it's thundering out.
Yeah, well.
So, anyway, okay, all right, this next story is going to make you cringe. And going to make you do that. And it's going to make you angry.
I don't know about that. Let's find out.
Okay. I'm done. Disturbing moment. A female police officer pins down a Walmart shopper, pulls down his pants, and threatens to taser him.
That's too funny.
Okay.
Sorry, but that's funny.
She actually says that she is going to taser his nuts.
Well, so what did he do to deserve?
Actually, he did nothing. Mistaken identity. Walmart called in. This is at a Walmart. They called in a suspected shoplifting.
Yeah.
All right. Gave a general description. Cops pull up. Cops jump out of their car. Grab a hold of the guy. You're under arrest. Struggle ensues. They throw him to the ground. He gets up, tries to run away. They get him to the ground again. And then that's when this woman, she pulls his pants down, tasers him in the bare ass, and then holds the taser up against his nuts and says, "I'll tase you here now."
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay, now, not too long ago, there was a cop in another city that did. The guy's pants came down and they tasered him in the nuts a couple of times, and that cop has gone to jail, I believe. He was definitely fired. My thing is here. My question about this, and I'm not going to play the video. I'm not into playing video of hearing somebody scream or hearing somebody threaten to torture a person.
Right.
Which, threatening to torture somebody in the genitals, to me, that's, to taser someone in the genitals, that's wanting to torture a person.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Okay. Do you think that's the first time she's ever done this?
Probably not.
Yeah. Now she has been okay, this is in Vancouver. After being forced to the ground following an attempt at escape, Mendoza pulls out a taser, exposing the man's genitals. "Knock it off or I'll do it in your nuts," she can be heard yelling in the video. So, this is all caught on their body cams.
Right.
And in the struggle, his hoodie got all wrapped up around his throat and was choking him. So they ended up having to cut the hoodie in order to for the guy to breathe. When the officer has been charged with 4th-degree assault.
Oh, good. So,
okay.
What started the whole thing, though? I mean,
what started the whole thing was, okay, because the video's out there. I watched it. I've actually watched it. The Walmart called in a suspected shoplifting, gave a general description. A man and a female, jeans and a hoodie. A few minutes later, the police pull up. They see these two people in the Walmart parking lot. They jump out of the car, grab a hold of them, and grab a hold of him and yell, "You're under arrest," and start to throw him to the ground.
Right.
And, his reaction was to pull back and try to run away. Which, somebody jumps out of a car and grabs a hold of you yelling, "You're under arrest." Smartest move in the world? No, but I mean, do you really have time to think when something like that's happening, that fast? Again, and it turned out that they weren't the shoplifters. It's just a general description and they just happened to fit it. Another part of the problem here, though, is the male officer involved. If I know nothing. Oh, I thought she tased him in the upper thigh. I didn't know she tased him in the bare butt. I didn't hear her threaten to tase him in the nuts. He's less than 2 feet away from her, plainly caught on her body cam, but he didn't hear her do that. His written report says no, doesn't match up to the video whatsoever.
Whose written report?
The male cop's written report does not match up to the video a whole lot. the only reason why I'm bringing this up is I don't believe fourth degree assault is sufficient for this. I really don't. I mean, that's and again, like I've said before, let's swap this around. A male officer pulls down a female suspect's pants and holds a taser against her genitals and says, "I'm going to tase you here if you don't do what I tell you to do." That'd be sexual assault charges in a heartbeat.
Right.
That wouldn't be a fourth degree assault.
No.
Especially since there was the actual action of removing, of pulling the person's britches down, pulling their pants and underwear down, to expose them like that. And that just really well, Fury, I'm sure there's some guys out there that would be rather excited to have that happen to them. I've got a friend of mine that uses a TENS unit, and not to get excited, but he uses a TENS unit every day on his legs, and it's like, he goes, well, I just like the feel of it I'm like, okay, you're a sick puppy, but that's beside the point. The Vancouver Police Department, their Police Officers Guild, has spoken out against the charges against Mendoza. The Clark County Prosecuting Attorney's Office lost sight of its core obligation to hold criminals accountable. The prosecuting attorney withdrew criminal charges against a combative suspect and has instead filed baseless charges against Mendoza for misdemeanor assault. Now, what do you think about the idea that you can fight back against an illegal arrest? Not would you do it, would you physically fight back against officers who are attempting to illegally arrest you? But if you were on a jury and somebody was being brought up with on charges in front of you of resisting arrest, but that was the only charges against them, no other criminal charge. Personally, I would say not guilty. You should be able to resist an arrest that is baseless. There is no crime. You have committed no crime in order to be arrested. That resisting arrest charge, to me, should be a tertiary criminal charge. Not even a secondary, but a tertiary charge.
See, that's the thing. And so, okay, so here's my thing about the whole resisting arrest thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see videos constantly where someone, if they flinch or whatever, they get charged with resisting. It's called stacking charges.
Right.
We see this all the time. And I think we even see it in times when but yeah, it should not be the main charge. I mean, you shouldn't be able to arrest somebody for simply resisting. Agreed. And it depends on, without seeing the video, I don't know if he took a swing or whatever at the cop, but
Well, you really can't tell because it's all body cam.
right. So that being said, and then the fact that the pants came down and all that kind of stuff, I was like, yeah, I think a lot of times cops let their emotions get in the way of what they're doing.
Right.
But by the same token, people have gotten to the point where they think they can, take swings and do stuff to cops that, nobody should have to put up with. So for me, I'm kind of torn on it. I really am. But yeah, it's one of those cases where instead of just jumping out of the car and saying you're under arrest, it's like that. I think that could have been handled much better by the cops.
Right.
Because, weren't even sure that was the right person. And they're just going to jump out and tackle this person. And so, yeah, I'm like, again, without having seen the whole video, because a lot of time I have a hard time reacting to videos I see online right away, because there's so much of the time that video has been cropped and it's not showing everything.
A lot of that. Well, it's like Flagler County here in Florida. All right. There's a deputy sheriff. You know who Jeff Gray is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Jeff Gray was just given some tickets the other day. Flagler County, driving down the road, deputy sheriff sitting off to the side. Jeff Gray notices him, flips him off as he's moving over into the left lane to pass a semi truck.
Right.
Well, the deputy sheriff didn't like being flipped off. Okay. After Greg passes him, the deputy sheriff pulls out, chases him down, pulls him over, writes him a ticket for following too close and staying in the left lane too long.
Right.
Okay. And then then in his official report, when he asked for the insurance documentation, Jeff had evidently crossed out the expiration date, and the cop didn't like that. In his report, he wrote down Mr. Gray crossed out the expiration date on his insurance paperwork in order to antagonize the police. I was like, okay, what, we got a deputy sheriff here with a real mind reader, but and wrote him 2 tickets. And if you sit there and watch Jeff's video, and you watch the police's dash cam video and body cam video and everything else, it's obvious this deputy sheriff just couldn't handle being flipped off.
Yep.
And wrote him tickets. So, I mean, that kind of deputy sheriff, that kind of cop is what costs counties money.
Yep.
Because now we got illegal detainment, which, you get pulled over, you're detained. They can only pull, so it's an illegal detainment. So there's going to be a lawsuit. I know Jeff's going to file a lawsuit against the guy. So, but that's just one of the examples where you're talking about the videos. The videos are long enough and complete enough that you can actually see everything that happened. and you can make an informed judgment on the cop. But like you said, a lot of them though, hell, there was that one auditor a few years ago that got caught calling the police on himself.
Yeah.
Just to produce videos and he was making a pretty, I think he was making like $8,000 a month off of YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you're making that kind of money, you got to make certain that you're producing enough videos to keep that income coming in. But anyway, okay, what is going on here? I'm hating me this morning. Last but not least, inflation. It's creeping back up again. The Biden administration released that it's only gone up 3.4% is this year. And that just sort of bugged me a little bit thinking about it.
What, that the inflation only went up a little bit?
Yeah, that it was only 3.4%. So
Okay.
I got looking a little deeper into this. And inflation is a right-wing myth. It's called the economy, and it's better than ever. Well, Fury, I'm hoping you're saying that as a joke or sarcastically.
I hope so too.
Sarcastically, okay? So I pulled this up here from January of 2021 to August of this year, beginning of August. Okay. What a dollar bought in 2021, you need now $1.13. The overall inflation rate, and let's see here, share this screen. Did I hit the right thing? No, I didn't hit the right thing. Damn it. Here, I was so proud of myself for hitting the right screens earlier.
See, that's what you get, man. Get braggadocious.
Yep.
Life.
I accidentally hit stop sharing instead of share this screen. All right. Anyway, the actual inflation rate between 2021. I put this overall inflation since 2021. The overall inflation is 11.95%. That's a pretty healthy jump.
It is very healthy.
In the cost of living. But what they did here with this, that 11.9%, this excludes housing and fuel.
Yeah.
It always excludes those two. And, they're bragging about how the price of fuel, has gone down since it's high.
Yeah, and it's gone back up.
All right. Well, if we look at when the price of fuel started to actually take its drop, it was when Biden back on November 23rd of 2021 released fuel from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Yeah.
Back in 2021, almost 2 years ago. just shy of 2 years. Of course, they blamed it on the pandemic, on COVID, but we all,
Yeah, it had nothing with shutting down the pipelines or any of that kind of thing.
So, and Biden, of course, still has not replenished the strategic oil reserve.
Nope. So he can't do that again because he ain't got enough left to do that.
And we don't have enough money to do that.
Nope. And if he prints more money, that's going to cause more inflation.
So, if we take a look here, this is a chart of the strategic oil reserve. And let me get back. Okay. Let's see. Can you see the dates down on the bottom?
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
Okay, yeah. At the very beginning here, this is 1985 through 1989 right here. This is 90 through 94. 95 through 99. Then 2000 through 14 or 2004. The Bush years. Then 5 through 9. And then 10 through 14, the Obama decade. Up here, 2021 would be right about here, right at this peak. And then this here's 2022. And this here's where it's dropped down to. All right, it's dropped down to, what is that? 485 million gallons of fuel, of petroleum sitting there. That is not, honestly, a whole bunch of fuel to be sitting in our strategic reserves. And the problem is a lot of those strategic reserves went to China.
Yeah, we sold a lot of it to China.
Right, we sold. And in fact, did that bill go through? Have they voted on that bill in the House yet?
Which one's that?
The one to make it illegal to sell fuel to Russia or China.
I know there's an embargo, but that's all I know.
Yeah, but now the House Republicans got pretty ticked off about the fuel going to China.
It probably died in the Senate.
And well, see, I don't know if it even made it out of the House. I don't know if it's even been voted on yet.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, if Mitch McConnell had anything to do with it, then it's dead.
So, but the next thing here I wanted to show is this is the price of gasoline, January 4th, 2021. This is average price of gas, was $2.33 a gallon. Of course, depending on where you live and taxes and everything else, what's that saying? Your mileage may differ.
You may vary.
Yeah. And now our gas here is at 375.
Yeah, I'm not looking right around that.
I'm not looking forward to filling up this afternoon. I'm down to a half a tank. So I've got errands I need to run today, so I'll be filling up my truck. Hey, morning, Donald. Good to see you.
Hey, Don.
Uh,
YMMV.
MMV.
Yeah, it's well, Furry was saying, hello, Donald.
Oh,
YMMV. Not sure what
you're.
YMMV is.
Oh, Donald is stuck at sea.
I'm stuck at sea. There is no such thing as being stuck at sea. Being at sea is great.
It depends on what your job is, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
And how big of a ship you're on. I mean, if you're in a dinghy, yet you're
That is stuck.
you're 80 miles out, you're stuck at sea. You're you on a cruise ship
You're
and
stuck
you're
at
80
sea.
miles out, you're having a ball.
No, you're not.
What do you mean? No, you're not.
Yeah. So you're on a cruise ship out there in the middle of the ocean, right?
Uh-huh.
With 5,000 of your closest friends. That means the line at the pool is long, the line at all the other activities is long. Go and see the show, you have to wait in line, it's crowded. No, thanks, but no.
I That's on my bucket list. Well, it's more so it's on my bucket list because it's on my wife's bucket list to take a cruise.
Good luck. Enjoy.
So
Couldn't pay
she
me to take one.
she wants to do the Alaskan cruise.
From
I
where to
think
where?
I'd rather do Caribbean, but she wants to do Alaskan.
From where to where, though? That's the question. Out of
From
Vancouver
Washington State up.
to the Inside Passage cruise.
Yeah, I guess
Take the car ferry.
take the car ferry.
Yeah, there's a car ferry that goes from Bellingham, Washington up to Alaska. You drive on board the ship, park your car, get out, see the Inside Passage, just like if you paid thousands of dollars to do it. It's not as luxurious and everything. You don't give you a room to sleep in, but yeah, you can take the car ferry. It's the same thing.
Hmm. She wants the pamperedness and all that good stuff that goes with it. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
standing at the rails with everybody else and not being able to see because everybody on the ship's out there.
Well,
We're in the car ferry. You can go to the top of the car ferry and sit and look and do all that.
it's
Teach their own.
it's still more than what I mean. I don't want to do it because I don't want to be messing around with cold weather.
It's not. You go in the summer. It's not that cold.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You don't
But
do it in
then,
the winter.
but then that's also peak tourist season too.
Yes, it is.
So I wouldn't want to do it during peak tourist season. I'd want to do it
Yeah.
towards the end.
Yeah, so do it like in October when nobody
Yeah.
else is going. It's
Oh,
not that cold.
I know what I do. It's a trip she wants to take, so I'll do it over my birthday.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that would frost her. This is supposed to be my cruise, and you're doing it as a birthday present?
Well, I don't celebrate birthdays, so for me, it's not an issue. Well, I don't celebrate my birthday.
So, okay, get back. So, where am I at here? Yeah, we got the article here on the. And remember Yellen at one time back in 2021. She said inflation was just a transitory.
Yeah, it's not going to stick around.
It's not going to stick around. Here we are, 3 years later, 2 years later, and inflation is still on the upswing. And one of the things you got, for me, I I don't do this year to year or month to month. That the government likes to release these numbers month to month a lot of times.
Yeah.
Well, inflation is only, it's only 3%. Last month it was 3.5%. This month is 3.2%. Okay, that's fine, but you forget that that's a cumulative effect.
Well, the whole point is to make them look good. That's like when Reagan did the unemployment numbers, he included the military in it. He included the military as being deployed, as being employed, so that way made the numbers look better. I mean, they were good, but he wanted them to look even better. So they all do it. It's just the way our government works.
Right. Well, it's like when Obama changed the way you figured uh, illegal immigration.
Yep.
And how he deported people, and he included people that were turned back at the border stations, at the entry points.
Yeah, and the dirty little secret is that in the beginning of his presidency, he deported more people than a lot of other presidents. So,
but that was also including the people that were turned back
at the border, yes,
at the border instead of caught and deported. See, when I think of somebody being deported, I think of somebody who had already gained entry illegally.
Right. Yeah, that's the way I think of it too.
And they were living in the country, or were, they were caught 20 miles or 10 miles inland in the middle of the desert with a whole group of other illegals. I don't count, you come in through the line, and you got the border official sitting there at his desk, and nope, sorry, you can't come in. Turn around and go back the way you came.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like the turn. You've watched the border, what the hell was that show on? I think it was A&E, where they went to all the different countries, and at the airlines, and
it's Catch a Smuggler,
or at the the drive-through border things between the States and Canada. And sometimes they'd be on the Canadian side, sometimes they'd be on the American side. And watching people coming through, showing their passports and visas and such.
Yeah, To Catch a Smuggler. Yeah.
Those are great shows to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed them when they were out there. I binge watched quite a few of them because they were fun shows to watch. And you sit there and especially the people. People coming from certain Near Eastern countries trying to pass off brand new jewelry as being old stuff. That way they didn't have to pay the taxes and tariffs.
Right.
On, they went to a Near Eastern country and bought, $15,000-$20,000 of gold or platinum jewelry. Or they went to France and bought all this designer clothes. And
because they didn't want to pay the VAT tax on it.
And didn't want to pay the taxes on them when they brought them back into the States. Or into Canada was really bad on it, though, from what I remember.
Canada's the worst because, Canada and other European countries are really bad because they have the value-added tax. We don't have that yet in the United States.
Well, the VAT taxes, I remember from being when I was in Germany, it was a 13%, 13 or 14% VAT tax, but there
Yeah.
was no sales tax when you bought something at the grocery store.
Yeah. But if you're a citizen of Germany and you go to Dubai,
Right.
where you don't pay for the craftsmanship of the gold jewelry, you only pay for the weight.
Right.
So you're getting, like, in Germany, that necklace would be 50 grand. You're paying 30 grand for it, right? Now you come back to Germany. Now they want you to pay the VAT tax of 13% on top of what you already spent on that. So yeah, you don't want to pay that because 13% on that amount of money is huge, right?
Oh yeah, it can add up in a
So
hurry.
that's that's what's behind that. So yeah, you may not have a sales tax, but you do have the VAT tax, and the value added tax can actually be higher than if they actually had a sales tax.
Yeah, because I mean, the only time I ever really dealt with the VAT tax when I was in Germany is when I went downtown to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And I could, you could, if you're buying, if you wanted to go through the hassle, you could go through the orderly room and get some paperwork that would exempt you from having to pay the VAT tax.
Right. Or you could, like, when I went to Germany as a tourist, you could take your paperwork when you left the country and get your VAT tax back that you paid. But I mean, I only bought a couple T-shirts, so I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, Fury's got that in there. U.S. and foreign tourists get receipts and claim back the VAT. It's painless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah, that's Fury. You're absolutely right. One of the things that most confusing to tourists to the United States from other countries is the price on the item is not the price you pay at the cash register.
Right, because they add tax
because
later.
because we add the tax afterwards. So, a, a friend of mine, a German friend of mine, came over and he just could not get over, that because he was so used to if it said 7 mark 50 pfennig on the ticket when you went up to pay for it, you handed him 7 mark 50 pfennig. There was no more additional stuff thrown into it.
Well, the one thing I found very entertaining, traveling as much as I have to overseas and everything, one thing I found very entertaining was that the Australians did away with the penny.
The Australians did what?
Did away with the penny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was in this shop, right? And I bought some snacks and a soda. And so I get to the register, and the register said $1.88. That's what it said on the register.
Right.
And she looks at me and she goes, "That'll be $1.90." What? She goes, "Yeah, $1.90." I said, "But it says $1.88 there." She goes, "Yeah, but we don't have pennies anymore, so we just round up or round down."
Now, they did that at the BX when I was in Germany.
Yeah, which I found it was quite hilarious because most of the time, if they would, if it came out to a $1.93, they would say, charge you $1.90, or they charge you $1.95. If it came out to $1.97, then they would still charge you $1.95, just because they round out because there's no pennies.
Yeah,
I found it very entertaining.
Yeah, they did the same thing when I was in Germany in 1980 through 84 or 83. Uh, they would, you went to the BX, they didn't do pennies. And they said because it was just too expensive to ship the weight of the pennies back and forth.
Yeah, which I'm totally. I think we should get rid of the penny too, but
I'd have no problem. I mean, I'd hate to see get rid of the Lincoln penny, but oh, and speaking of pennies, my sister's husband was an amateur coin collector,
yeah.
and she was digging through some boxes in their basement, and she found what was it? It was 32 rolls, so that'd be $16. $16 in zinc pennies. So she's going to take them in, and a zinc penny is actually worth anywhere between 16 cents to, depending on if it's one of the triple stamps or double stamps or something like that, up to $10,000. So she's going to take them in and have them appraised. Try to get rid of them. Couldn't. What she wants 32 rolls of pennies for, but they're all marked as zinc pennies, every roll.
Nice.
So I've probably got 8 or 9 rolls of wheats and a couple rolls of silver dimes, and I think I got 2 rolls of silver quarters.
Well, I have.
I'm just holding on to hold on to. You've got what?
I've got what I think will be the new currency soon, stacked away in a temperature and humidity controlled environment.
Okay, you've got the freedom seeds.
Freedom seeds, yes, lots and lots of them.
Lots of freedom seeds.
Lots and lots of,
yeah.
Like more than you can physically pick up and carry.
Next weekend is a there's a Pew Pew and Bladed Expertise program fair going on in the next county over. So I'm planning on making the trip over to go see it and see what they got in the line, Pew Pews and sharpened steel.
Nice.
See what they got. I may take a couple of my sharpened steel items there and have them touched up because they've always got at least one person there that does sharpenings at a decent price. So this allowed the operator to sell them as okay. What's that? Fury. Pre-decimal currency.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So, convert them, and then that way you don't have to get around the bypass gambling and gaming laws.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense there. Let's see. You got anything you want to bring up here today there?
No,
young
not
man?
really. I just I just jumped onto your tape.
Okay. Yeah, the the this Texas teacher thing. Like I said, been following that particular story before it hit national news. Before she was even uh, asked to resign one way or another. Before the resignation / firing happened. Because she was part of a sect of Twitter and TikTok that was making not hiding her disdain for lesser melanated individuals.
Right. And yeah, and she was like saying, "Oh, they can't fire me. It'll never happen. I'll never be fired." And she
Right.
got fired. Yeah. Well, it's about time. See, the thing of it is what most people don't realize, especially the people on that side of the argument, is that normal, everyday people are at a boiling point, and they're getting tired of all this stuff being forced on them and shoved down their throat. And so people, just normal everyday people, the people that want to be left alone are now getting pissed. And they're fighting back. They're going, nope, we're not playing this game anymore. And well, I don't know, problem's not the right word, but the issue is that they are starting to fight back, rise up, and say, okay, enough's enough. You guys had your fun. It's over now. Let's get back to normal. And the thing is these people live in such a bubble and everything. They're not realizing that this is what's happening, and they're continuing to push their little fun and games. Problem is that now the normal people are pissed off and at a boiling point. I mean, when you go out, I don't know about you, but when I go out, I can feel the tension in the air.
Right. Oh yeah, it's
It's
definitely.
the tension is in the air. And so the thing of it is if any weird shenanigans start happening, I feel bad for the people that start those shenanigans. I really do, because they're going to get their comeuppance.
Well, now there's and I mean I follow a lot of just random videos, and there seems to be a pretty strong movement, or I've stumbled across a group of creators, mostly Black creators, who are just as tired of this whole "I can't be racist" thing as you and I are.
Yep.
And
Well,
they're starting to call it out. I mean, and when I say starting, I mean they've been, it seems to over the past 6 months, 7, 8 months, it really seemed I've come across more and more creators doing this.
well, yeah, because they're sick and tired of all of the crap. Because what happens is these people playing their little stupid games are starting to affect, like I said, the normal everyday people who just, you know, want to succeed and want to be, normal. Um, because, a lot of this stuff is affecting people negatively that it shouldn't be affecting, right? And a lot of these arguments and stuff that these weirdos are putting out there, if you think about it, these arguments and that are, saying, well, if you're Black, you can't marry a white person, or Asian person, whatever the case may be, because, and all this. And so really it's just making things worse for everybody. It's not really helping. And they're not making the argument they think they're making. And
Right.
so, yeah, the normal everyday people that just want to live their lives and, have a job and, live in their house and just have a normal everyday life are finding it more and more difficult to do so. So people are getting sick and tired of it. Yeah, I see it, and it's just like, I just don't know if it's going to, it's all going to explode on us or what. And so I'm kind of,
And like I said, I don't know, it's something that I seem to have stumbled across. It's not that I was looking for it. And you know how these algorithms goes, once you start watching a video, then you start get recommended more. More and more and more of them get popped into your feed.
yeah, and they don't always. Yeah, I do know that.
So, so that's what I'm saying is I don't know if I'm just getting more popped in, where more videos are being fed by different creators being put into my feed or into my recommendations or however the different platforms want to call it, or if there is an actual just increase in the number of creators out there putting out these videos and such doing it.
Well, I'd like to say a little bit of both, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
That's
So,
part of the problem.
and I had something interesting happen yesterday. I remember yesterday I said I had a gentleman pop on that joined the channel that I didn't have a chance to catch his name.
Well, that was day before yesterday because you didn't stream.
Okay,
yesterday.
day before yesterday. Gentleman by the name of Red Leg.
Yeah, Red Leg. That's
Okay. It turns around out, him and I caught up with him yesterday, and turns out that him and I used to stream together back on Time Online back in the late 90s before I retired out of the Air Force. And he streamed under a different name back then, which I'm not going to say what it was. But that was like, 25 years ago. And then for 15, 20 years, I got kicked off. I got kicked off of when Time On. I don't know if you ever remember Time Online.
No.
When they used to have Time Magazine used to have political chat, host political chat website, and then they closed that down, and we the bunch of us that posted, we migrated over to a different website, while the moderator, the woman who created or whatever the new website that we all got to, her and I had a little bit of a tussle, and I got banned. After a couple of years, I got banned because I said something she didn't like and didn't back down from it.
I've never been banned from anything. I feel kind of like I'm slacking or something.
Yeah, I told, if I remember correct, I told one of her friends to FOAD.
Yeah.
And her friend didn't like it. And I got banned for being abusive. So, well, I've got to go and see an orthopedic surgeon here in an hour and 45 minutes. So, Any words of wisdom before we head out the door there, Dar?
My only words of wisdom are just have fun, dudes.
Yep. I can't disagree with that. You know, it's one of the things I'm getting a little nervous about, and this is about me myself, is I think I'm starting to take some of this crap too serious.
Yeah, you are.
And I need to I'm not going to quit. I need to find a way of not being quite so serious about some of this stuff. But anyway, I want everybody to try to have a good day. It looks like the thunderstorm had decided to go around us, so I'm happy. My dog decided to go over and lay down on the other couch. So I want everybody to have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. If you get into trouble, have as much fun getting out of it as you did getting into it. And of course, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. Have a good ones.